What's going on, everybody at DR Sports? It's your boy JT, James Toom, whatever you want to call me, and welcome to the Big Fight Live. That is right, we are here ready to rumble in the jungle. We're talking Davis Garcia. Can Davis put Garcia in the tank? Can Ryan Garcia check hook all the boxes en route to victory in this fight? That is what we are about to find out right here, right now. I'm here with my brother Nick. How are you doing, my man?
I'm gassed, brother. I thought about having a nap. I didn't nap. I stayed awake. The excitement has carried me through, and I'm ready, man. You know what I'm saying? My boy from Baltimore, aka Bodymore, because they catch bodies where he's from. Do you know what I'm saying? He's putting your boy down. I'm glad there's no one here. It's me against you, but I feel like it's me against you in this ring tonight. I'm not gonna lie.
Well, if that was the case, you would be getting absolutely smoked like a shisha, my man. And the only thing he is going to be catching is dead air, oxygen, and maybe the CO2 coming out of his own throat. It's literally starting right now. It is Connie Worrell. How are you guys all in the chat? All the legends staying up to watch it, and maybe those from the States. Let me know where you guys are watching from. King Ryan for me, Ryan Hamilton. Lovely, cool. Me and you both backing the boy right here. 4 a.m. ring walk. Yeah, the ring walk is literally just about to start. What are your thoughts, Nick? What kind of fight are we expecting here?
They both have their individual strengths and weaknesses, and their individual strengths and weaknesses are the opposite to each other. You know, Ryan's going to be quick, early rounds, taking those early rounds, and Tank's going to be much more dangerous in the later rounds of the fight, second half of the fight specifically. So there's going to be action all the way to the end, all the way right to the end. There's going to be action. Shout out Anthony as well in the chat, Texas in the building. But yeah, there's going to be excitement all the way to the end. And it really, to be honest with you, the closer it gets to the ring walk, the closer it gets to the fight, I'm thinking it's closer to a 50-50 than I was giving it credit.
Oh, look at this. He's backtracking already, boys. Honestly, all week he's been giving me smoke. Oh, Ryan Garcia's getting memed, bruv. Oh, Ryan Garcia getting put in the tank, getting smoked up, backstrapped into a spliff. Well, you've changed your tune now, haven't you? You're getting put under the cosh, mate.
He's still going to lose. I'm just saying it's going to be a little bit closer than I think some people, like Laurie was saying, it's a one-sided fight. I'm just saying it's going to be a little bit closer than people are giving it credit for. That's all. But your boy's still going down. That's what it is. And there's no shame in him losing. There's no shame in him losing to Tank Davis because, your boy's young. He's got to learn. He's got to get this experience. He'll be a better fighter in the future, but he's just not winning tonight. That's all. Nothing personal.
Nothing personal, mate. All business, strictly business. Mayfeather, 0 degrees is calling him. I don't know who you're calling Mayfeather. Probably Davis because he is part of the Mayweather camp. Let's hope it's a good fight. We need Crawford versus Spence next. Absolutely right, Arsenal 17. Unfortunately, those two are bottling the negotiations harder than you lot are bottling the league right now. I don't know how long it's going to be until we get that
Arsenal
fight.
17 locking in from Virginia.
Shout out, mate. Because that's how many years it's going to be before you guys win another major trophy. I think Ryan is going to start fast, but Tank is going to close the distance and stop him. Josiah James. Edge goes to David, but you never know. Exactly. You never know, mate. Davis is obviously the favorite. And like I said before, rightly so. He has the pedigree. He has the experience, but you never know what is going to happen. Ryan Garcia, this is the biggest fight of his career. He asked for this fight. He demanded this fight. He's going in as the underdog. People like Nick are calling him Instagram boxers. They're saying he should be on influencer boxing cards. They don't respect him, and this is where he comes to earn all his respect. Will he earn all the marbles? Will he earn the respect? Or will Davis put him in the tank and basically prove to everyone the golfing class that there is there? James looking like a Fortnite streamer who sleeps all day and games all night.
James just rolled out of bed for this, He was asleep. I had to wake him up. I had to call him and say, listen,
absolute codswallop, mate. I've been on to everyone for this. This guy, mate, couldn't even get his camera sorted. I've been sorting everything out here. I did try to sleep. I can't lie to you. It's been a long day. I'd preferably not talk about football if that's all right after everything that transpired. And I just wanted to, I wanted to get a couple of hours, maybe nap before this because I've got a semi-final tomorrow as well. But I couldn't sleep, man. I was too excited for this fight. The nerves were jangling. It's just got that big fight feel. You know what I mean? You know
It
what I mean,
definitely
Nick?
does. It definitely does. And I'm excited to see how Ryan deals with this type of pressure. We saw Anthony Joshua look a little bit shaky of his first Madison Square Garden fight under the lights. Not everyone is built for these types of big occasions. We know Tank's been there and done it. Let's see how Ryan Garcia fares. I think he'll fare well because he does have that influencer following where he is in the spotlight a lot. I'm not saying that as a knock. I'm saying it is because he's in the spotlight a lot. It shouldn't be anything too new to him. But let's see how he does tonight. Let's see how he fares.
Let's see how he fares indeed. Wish the Don was here. Well, you haven't got the Don, but you have got two stunning knockouts to witness the knockout of Gervonta Davis here tonight. Yeah, let's see what I did there. Tank will KO Garcia in 10 rounds. Yash, yous will help me stay up for the fight. I'm guessing you're from England. Whereabouts in England are you watching from? Are you a Londoner? Are you a Mancunian? Are you maybe a Yorkshire?
I see some people in the chat from Sydney. Shout out Sydney. I'm seeing people from Ohio. So, DR Sports, we're global, man. We're global. And for anyone that don't know, it's 4 a.m. here for us in the UK. But listen, we don't complain. Do you know what I'm saying?
Well, technically, it is 3:53.
All work is easy work.
All work, easy work. Floyd Money Mayweather. Cecil Warner. I'm taking Tank Davis all the way from St. Kitts and Trinidad. Is that Trinidad?
Yes, my brother, my Caribbean brother.
Knock that sucker out, Tank. Davis KO in rounds 8 to 10. The people, in rounds 8 to 10, the people's champ. If you smell, well, the people's champ is cooking. High has the Williams versus Pierce finished. And what was the result, please? From Bradford. We've got drillers in here from Bradford. I'm new to boxing. What makes this the most important fight? Ryan don't have a belt. Can you please elaborate on this one, Nick?
Yeah, there were 4 young, exciting people in the lightweight division that are lining out. Maybe 5. You throw Shakur Stevenson in there. Lomachenko was the beast for a long time. He lost his belts. Devin Haney got the belts. Teofimo is in there. George Kambosos in there. These guys are 2 undefeated guys in the lightweight division. Gervonta Davis knocks out almost everybody that he's in with, and Ryan Garcia is lightning fast. So, you've got a young, hungry guy chasing titles, and you've got a guy who's been there and done it. He's only 28 years old, but he's so experienced. He's been there and done it. So this fight is going to shake up the lightweight division for sure. And, massive, crucial fight.
Massive fight. And the reason also, I just want to touch on that, why it's such a big thing and you're new to boxing. I don't know if you watch other combat sports, potentially UFC or something. And over the past 5 to 10 years, there's really been an insurgence over at UFC and MMA in general, especially the UFC, as opposed to boxing, because they have everyone under one organization. So they have the ability to make these mega fights. In boxing, we see time and time again over the years, whether it's Anthony Joshua, Tyson Fury, whether it's Floyd Mayweather, Manny Pacquiao, whether it's Anthony Joshua, Deontay Wilder, all these mega fights, the fights that get you salivating at the lips, the fights that get you leaping out of bed at 5 a.m. in the morning with goosebumps sprinkling all over your body. And we don't get them. We don't get delivered. We do not get that Amazon Prime delivery straight to our screen. We get that Hermes delivery. We get that package battered up and down the driveway. And by the time we finally get the fight, like in the case of Floyd Mayweather versus Manny Pacquiao, they're both way past their prime, and it's nowhere near the fight that it should have been. Whereas in this occasion, you're talking about 2 fighters in their peak or just about to hit their peak, definitely their physical peak for the weight class. And that is what makes this so exciting for me. Lick it in the front, poker in the rear. That's a lovely name, mate. Did they both bet their whole purse? No, that's absolute codswallop, mate. Not a snowball's chance in hell. It's just something they say to try and get in each other's heads, try and rattle the other person. Oh, yeah, we're going to bet the whole purse. It's
legally,
absolute waffle, mate.
also, just so people know, it's not a question of they're scared to do it necessarily. Legally, they're not allowed to do it. And there's a lot of people that go into making the fight happen. A lot of other people that need to get paid. It's not just their money, it's their coaches and promoters and other people like that. So, when people say that, it's just talk. Legally, they literally are not able to do it.
Yeah, they're not.
And speaking of Manny Pacquiao, we've got Manny Pacquiao right now getting interviewed, talking about his thoughts on the fight.
Yeah.
We've got some great boxing legends in the building. And that's what's so great about these occasions. When we get these big fights, everybody comes out. Sugar Ray Leonard is there. Manny Pacquiao is there. I'm hearing talk Mike Tyson might be there. So it's great to see all these legends in one building. It's just boxing history, boxing legacy, for sure. And shout out Bradford. Shout out Bradford too.
And you've got two boxing legends on your screen right here, two absolute geniuses. Although one guy thinks Ryan Garcia is going to lose, so therefore probably not so much of a genius.
We'll see what happens. We're going to find out.
Catch my drift. Yeah, Arsenal 17. Too many big fights not being made. These two young men are giving the fans a fight the sport and the fans need to see desperately need to see. I'm hoping Loma wins one last dance, please. He has a very, very big fight. Do you want to talk about his upcoming fight quickly, Nick?
Yeah, I mean, it's make or break, isn't it, for Lomachenko at this point in time? He was considered like Usyk. He was pound for pound considered top 5 for a very, very long period of time. Long amateur pedigree, lost in a bit of a shock loss. And he's got a big opportunity now to come back. If the problem that he has is if he loses again, he's not going to be that gatekeeper. The fear factor's got to be gone. Similar to what we've seen with Anthony Joshua, it's not just that his technical ability is gone necessarily, but it's the fear factor around him. People are terrified to fight Lomachenko at one point. And now if he has 2 losses on his record in the pros, people are not going to be fearing him. He's not going to have any belts, and he may well struggle to get those big fights again with the likes of Stevenson coming in and Devin Haney holding belts and all the rest of it. So it's huge. I'm a big fan of Lomachenko, and this is make or break for him. Probably the biggest pressure fight he's ever had. We've got to see how he deals with that.
Exactly, mate. What time is the fight? The fight is coming up now. What a finish. AJ said the heavyweight clash in December is 95% done. I hope you ain't lying. Look, mate, all I'm saying is take everything you hear from everyone surrounding that with a slight pinch of salt, potentially
Tyson Fury,
even
man.
a handful
of
salt.
Tyson Fury don't want to be there. That's what it is.
Mate, there's 4 people you've got to get done with that. So, I mean,
Usyk's
if you think
it's
going to happen, put some ones in the chat, but I think I'd be very skeptical.
My boy Usyk's on board. Wilder probably easy to sort. It's your boy Tyson Fury. He's the one. I mean, Arsenal 17 asking, anyone think that Crawford and Spence is going to happen? We are so dangerously close to people losing interest in that fight because it's taken such a long period of time.
I mean, a lot of people already have.
Yeah, for sure. And these guys, like you said, these guys are in their early 30s. I think even Crawford's in his late 30s at this point. So they're past what would be their physical peak. So it's already at a point where it's not going to be the fight that we all wanted it to be a few years ago. It's probably past that point. But of course, for the sake of legacy, that was at one time one of the biggest fights. It's been for the money that they're going to make now. 5 years ago, if we had Spence Crawford and AJ Wilder, it doesn't matter who won. Either way, it would have been such huge moments for both fighters. And it's such a shame that we don't get these fights. That's why I want to give big credit to Davis and Ryan Garcia.
That's what we're getting tonight, mate. That's what I mean. That's what we are getting tonight. That is what makes today so
obviously
great.
It's going to be my guy, Gervonta Davis, but regardless of who wins, you know what I'm saying, big credit to Ryan Garcia for stepping in there in the first place. You know what I'm saying, after he gets flattened, it's nothing personal, like I said before.
Oh, mate. So you're sticking that one back in there. Who TF are these guys? I thought Robbie and Matisse would be here. Well, you're looking at 2 boxing experts is what you're looking at, mate. We're basically Floyd Mayweather and Manny Pacquiao, similar kind of stature, similar kind of size, and definitely
I'm Mayweather,
right? No, I'm Mayweather.
Sure you
I'm
are.
undefeated.
Yeah. Sure you are.
Crawford versus Spence will happen. If they can keep Spence from driving, a bit of a John Jones situation going on over there. Arsenal bottlers absolutely, mate. This guy knows ball. When does the fight start? It starts soon. Wait, that's that Leeds fan and Poundland Chidena.
I'll take that. I like Jai Denner, man. I'm a classic man myself. I'm a classic man for real. So I appreciate that. No
I
problem.
don't know who Jidena is or
He's a
Jidena
rapper.
is.
He's like, do we look similar? Do me and Jiden? I don't think me and Jiden looks. He's a rapper, but he dresses in like fancy suits. He's like the rap version of Chris Eubank Sr.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, if only you had the slickness of Chris Eubank Senior. What are you drinking? This is just one of those CBD drinks. It helps my muscles relax, helps me just get soothed out. You can get them pretty much in any Sainsbury's. Doesn't have to be any brand, but they're good if you do exercise and you want to soothe your muscles out for the big game tomorrow. Lomachenko is my favorite fighter. Are two chicks fighting right now, or am I watching the wrong channel? I got like 4,000 channels going on here. King Ryan finna catch this W. When City beat Arsenal this Thursday, just wait, best of enemies. Don Robbie is going to get cooked hard. Ryan wins 1 through 4, might even edge out the 5th, but towards the latter half of round 5, Tank starts getting into his form. He starts filling up the gasoline in that tank, perhaps, and wins round 6 through 12 to win 7-5 or an 8-4 decision. Do you agree with him that you potentially think Ryan Garcia is going to come out early doors and probably implement his game plan and cause a lot more danger earlier on?
I think so. I think, Ryan can win early rounds with his speed, and I think it makes a lot of sense to do that because what he needs to do, we know how dangerous Tank can be in the second half of a fight. What he needs to do is make Tank get desperate. And obviously, if he can win 6 or 7 rounds, that's all you need. I know it's probably not going to go to points. Both of these guys have knockout power, but the more rounds he can win, especially over 6 rounds, the more pressure he puts on Tank to have to come out, have to be more aggressive, have to chase the knockout, and then he can start to pick him off a little bit. He doesn't want what Ryan doesn't want to be chasing this fight. Tank actually, even though he's shorter, he does actually have a slight reach advantage. So Ryan Garcia definitely doesn't want to be chasing the fight and get caught. So nicking rounds early is going to be crucial.
It is indeed, and I believe this is Gervonta Davis now walking to the ring. If my eyes do not deceive me, they're playing some promo video over it, so I'm not 100% sure if I am seeing correctly, but I believe they are starting to walk up to the ring. Hey, bro, why don't you go straight to the video? Fuad wants to batter this lease. I don't know who this leads. Oh, batter this Leeds fan every time they stream. I don't blame him, mate. My parents want to do the same thing to me, so it's quite a common feeling, mate. Common feeling. Chat is tripping right now. Tank is levels IMO. Ryan is gonna outclass Davis, mate. He is going to show the class, mate. Ryan Garcia has got more class than your local secondary school. All right, that's for damn sure, and he's going to show it today. Everyone's counting him out. Everyone thinks he hasn't got a snowball's chance in hell. Well, it's time for him to prove everybody wrong and slap him up with that beautiful, sweet, silky hook that is actually silkier than a spider's excrement. What does let him land mean? Matt G or G. Let him land is basically what someone says when someone is making a point. Let them land on the airport of that point. Imagine that the point that someone is making is like an aeroplane and it is coming into land at Heathrow Airport, aka my forehead. At which point, you need to give them time and space to let their points cook. Unless if that man is Nick, at which point, don't let him land because you're probably just going to hear some waffle.
Whatever you say, brother. Whatever you say.
The Prem is turning into the German league. Who remembers Plant versus Canelo? This seems similar, except Tank is Canelo and Garcia is Plant. Well, if we get a fight like that one, then wow, we're in for an absolute treat. That was an absolute fight for the ages. Unfortunately, Caleb Plant didn't quite have enough that day, but he did so much better than everyone expected. I thought it was going to be Billy Joe Saunders, personally, that caused Canelo the most problem and really troubled him. But Caleb Plant actually was a lot more dangerous in that fight than Billy Joe Saunders was.
I'm a big Canelo fan, and I'm not a big fan of Billy Joe Saunders. However, Billy Joe was doing quite well in that fight before the injury. He wasn't doing too badly in that fight before the injury. And then, once he got hit, orbital lobe, big up Ice Cube right now, my guy. I don't know. I don't think I look like Ice Cube at all. But every time I'm on live, everyone tells me I look like Ice Cube. But you know what I mean? It is what it is. But yeah, I don't think Billy Joe was too bad. And yeah, Caleb Plant, Canelo. You know, Canelo's a pound for pound one of the best in the world, in my opinion. And you know, Caleb Plant earned his respect massively. And so when you're fighting a fighter like that, that's the best you can hope for. If you can't get a win, you want to earn that man's respect, and he definitely did that.
No, 100%, 100%. Do you guys think Ryan is underrated because of his Insta following? Absolutely, mate. This is exactly what I'm saying. People are very, very discreditable to him. They're disrespectful to him. Sorry, because of the fact that he has such a big persona outside of the ring, because he's done so much work outside to build his social media, to build his following, to create engaging content, to engage with an audience outside of the boxing ring. A lot of the boxing purists, so to speak, look down on him, and they call him an Instagram fighter, they call him a social media guy, and they really disrespect what he actually does in the ring, and the heart and the desire and everything that he's had to do to get to this point in his career, to get these kind of fights. The guy's a very talented fighter. Yes, he's not without fault. Yes, defensively and his footwork, there are question marks there. Does he potentially deserve to be put in the same sentence on pure boxing ability as Gervonta Davis right now? There's questions surrounding that, but we're going to answer those questions right here, right now. And you know what? Just what you do outside of the ring is just as important. As Chael Sonnen said, mate, this is the entertainment business. How you sell yourself, how entertaining you are outside is just as important, mate. Poundland, Jadina do be waffling. I mean, you're someone that's criticized him for his big social media presence and everything else that he's done outside.
I didn't criticize him for that. I would say, directly to the comment to respond, I would say that I think he's rated about as much as he should be rated. There are some people that say he's overrated, and there are some people that say that he's underrated. And I think actually, if you even those out, he's probably rated about as much as he should be. He's not a world champion. Is he world level? We're going to find out today. But he certainly deserves a title shot, and he deserves to be sort of on the fringes of that level. And I agree with you. I don't mind him having a social media presence, and even from a financial perspective, being able to make money outside of boxing. And anything can happen, an injury can happen, anything can happen. So I don't have any problem with that. I wouldn't look down on him because of that. You know what I mean?
No, I get you, but you were saying before about the fact that because of social media presences, it actually stops fights from happening, and you're playing it cordial now, but you were leaning into him a little bit. It must be said.
I think it can. Some of the money that they make, it can go both ways. Do you know what I'm saying? It can price these guys out of a fight, and that's a problem that we have. Do you know what I mean? That can happen too. That's a fact.
But it can also make the fight a lot bigger, and it can get a lot more people interested, which is something, mate. Austin McBroom to take on the winner of Tank versus Garcia. I don't know if anyone watched that absolute masterclass by my boy Anison Gibb earlier. I'm not quite sure what the hell happened with Austin McBroom. I believe it was his knee or his ankle went in the third round there. But for me, that fight was only going one way. He looked gassed to me. I think there's question marks as to whether... I mean, I don't want to say he faked the injury, but he was looking gassed, and Anison Gibb was absolutely battering him like a haddock and chips. And I think that fight was only going one way if they made that into the fourth and fifth round, personally. But a very exciting card. And big up my boy Anison Gibb, 7-figure Gibber, the beast from the East. And speaking of beasts, Ryan Garcia is walking to the ring. Let's get this cooking. Get your scores on the doors, your fight predictions down in the chat right here, right now. And shout out to the 80 whole damn likes. I don't know who you are. I don't know where you're liking from, but I know you 80 source demons are absolute living legends. Final predictions, Nick. What are you feeling, mate? What round are we talking?
Final prediction... Tank round 8 or 9? Round 8. Tank round 8.
Tank round 8. Oof. Well, I'm going Garcia round 10. Round 10 for me. Round 10
Ryan
for me.
Garcia,
Thanks,
bud. He's got the Amiri robe, Amiri robes my man's got. Big drip.
Mate, look at that slickness from him there. Look at that. This guy's the real deal. Thanks, bud. I'm from New Zealand. Shout out to you, bro. Watching all the way from New Zealand. Pain, Mr. T. Right here, right now. Appreciate the explanation. Does let him cook mean the same thing as let him land? Let him cook similar to let him land, but land is more when you're making a point, and cook is more when you're kind of roasting someone. It can be a bit more broad. Let him cook. Ryan is just an Instagram baddie with the power. And a power left hand, mate. Don't count out that left hand. To be fair, he is a good-looking guy. So yeah, I guess you could call him an Instagram baddie. That's for sure, mate. That's for sure. Ryan don't care. He'll go back to twerking for the 19-year-old white girls on TikTok by Monday morning. Well, he could prove you wrong, mate. It could prove you wrong. Left hook Ryan has got you dope. And he's a real boxer from the age of 7-year-old. Over 200 amateur fights. Pay-per-view boxing is in its prime right now. It really is. As we wait for Gervonta Davis to make the ring walk as well. Gibb versus Jake Paul rematch. Make it happen. Unfortunately, I don't know if I see that going another way. I love Gibb and I'd love them to beat him, but I'm not sure, mate. I'm not sure about that one for sure. Let's go Garcia with the shadow boxing, mate. The shadow boxing is looking slick, but here comes his opponent. Here is the main man, Gervonta Davis, arguably the A side of the fight when it comes to boxing ability. Who's the bigger A side?
It's not
Draw-wise, that's debatable.
It's not arguable. He's the A side.
I'm saying overall arguable the A side because potentially Ryan Garcia could be bringing more eyeballs to it with his presence outside.
That doesn't make you the A side.
It does. I'm afraid, mate. Like I said, it's the entertainment business. Whoever brings more eyeballs, whoever brings more money is the A side. And
tell Tyson Fury that.
Tyson Fury brings more eyeballs than everyone aside from Anthony Joshua. So that is why he didn't want to give
Joshua the A side. He didn't
want to give him that, but that's ego and that's control. And to be honest, right now it's actually kind of they are a little bit similar. Because of how everything's gone with Anthony Joshua. But it's an entertainment business, mate. Numbers speak. But definitely boxing acumen, you have to give the edge to Gervonta Davis, mate. Is that chief? Is that the tribal chief? It is the tribal chief. So you better acknowledge my ass and you better acknowledge Ryan Slick Hands Garcia as well, mate. Ryan Garcia doesn't look confident. I beg to differ, mate. I beg to differ. Do you think he must. Do you think he looks unconfident?
They both look a little bit pensive, to be honest with you. I'm watching Tank's ring walk. He looks quite focused. They both look a little bit nervous. This is possibly, even though, Garcia's, even though Tank Davis had big fights before, this is probably the biggest fight for both of them in terms of eyes, pay-per-view buys, different things like that. They both look a little bit nervous. Tank's in the ring now, dancing around, trying to sort of assert his dominance, get comfortable in the ring. But yeah, they both look a little bit nervous, I would say. They look similar. I wouldn't say one has the mental edge over the other just at this moment.
Chief Keef walkout. Davis is both speed and power and ring IQ. Biggest fight in their careers. Absolutely. Definitely the biggest fight in Ryan Garcia's career. Do you think this is the biggest fight in Davis's career as well?
I think so. It's probably his biggest test.
Test?
I think so. Like from a mental perspective, not just with regard. I think he's fought tougher fighters, but this is going to be a different style for him. Some of the other fighters that Tank has fought may be better fighters on paper in terms of overall attributes, but their styles also aligned for what he's good at. This is somebody who's taller than him. He's going to be the smaller man, which he's kind of used to. He's going up against someone who's probably one of the fastest punchers in the world. So it's a different type of proposition than than what he's faced before. And again, it's the eyes. It's the big fight nights. It's the eyes. When the world is watching, funny things can happen.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing that I am a little bit scared about right now, potentially, if you are talking from a Ryan Garcia stand, and I'm not speaking from any, I'm personally, I like the guy, and I do think he's going to cause the upset, but I like both guys, and I am looking neutrally. I do think if you are talking from a Garcia standpoint, if he gets in his own head and he tries and he listens to all the haters, I was listening to Teddy Atlas talking about it, and he tries to play into Davis's game plan. He tries to play rough. He tries to get in the inside, prove that he can slug it out with a guy like Gervonta Davis and not try and stick and move around the outside. Then he could play into Gervonta Davis's hands. Like you said, he's the shorter fighter. If it goes to a close inside fight, then it's a dangerous game for Ryan Garcia, who's already shown poor hand discipline in quite a few of his fights.
Sure.
So I'm scared that potentially he could get in his own head and try and prove people too wrong and play into his hands. That is a possibility.
He has the height and reach advantage. He has to just stick to that. I think I said earlier that Davis had the slight advantage. I meant I got that the wrong way around, obviously, but he has the height advantage. He has the reach advantage. His hands are quicker. He just has to stick to what he's best at. Do you know what I mean? And that's all it is. Obviously, Davis is very, very good at counter boxing and roping him in. But if he can get in and out, those are his best chances to steal those rounds.
Mm-hmm. Roping
I still think Tank knocks him out.
Still think Tank knocks him out. Round 8, you said, yeah.
They could both. You know what? This is a fight. They could both go down. You know, they could both.
They could.
It's about who makes those adjustments. You know, we watched Joe Joyce live against Zilai Zhang, and he didn't make any adjustments when things weren't going right for him. And I think that's the difference. You know, if they both get dropped and they both go into deep water, I think Tank is better at making adjustments. That's where the IQ's really got to come in.
Mm-hmm. No, exactly, mate. I hope it is, man. I hope it is one of those fights. I have a sneaky feeling that it could just be one of those absolute monster fights where they both go down early. Someone knocks him down in round 3. Maybe Davis comes back in round 4, knocks him down, and we just get an absolute war. War. That's what I'd love to see, mate. I'd love to see it. We're all up here at 4 a.m. We've all been excited about this fight for weeks, months, potentially even years. Some people in anticipation for a mega fight, and the bell is about to ring to start this fight. I cannot wait. Like I said, everyone in there, get your last second scores on the doors down in the chat down below. Don't you think Usyk would dance Fury out of the ring? I personally don't.
You don't?
No, I think Fury has too much reach, too much power. And he will actually utilize his power, unlike Anthony Joshua. And he's slick enough and he's got enough boxing IQ to be able to deal with the traps that Usyk tries to set for him personally.
I don't think he's ever come across anybody as technically slick and as mobile as Usyk.
I'll agree with that.
Tyson Fury actually has always struggled with people.
Yep, Cunningham put him down.
Yeah, and he had to smother Cunningham to get him out of there. And Tyson Fury's last couple of performances, I think his legs and his movement is not as slick as it used to be. Age is catching up with him, and I think Usyk is a lot slicker than him, to be honest with you. So I would make Usyk the favourite.
Really? Wow.
Yeah,
Usyk's
but I think with British media bias, I'm looking forward to Tyson Fury being the favourite so I can make some money. You always make good money betting against British fighters.
True. And I should actually put some money on Ryan Garcia to win this fight because he is a heavy underdog on this one. Obviously, only bet responsibly if you can. And
6 of his last 7 wins.
Fights.
6 of his last 7 wins are by knockout. You know, for that, and that's Ryan Garcia. That's the guy that people think is not a power puncher. You know.
Mm-hmm.
So there you go.
Mate, it's exciting. Ryan wins easy. We're getting a lot of love for Ryan Garcia right now. I got Ryan for the upset 100%.
You're cherry picking these comments.
No, I'm not. These are 3 of the bottom 4 comments. Look at the chat, mate. Look at the chat. That's the bottom comment. The second bottom.
Check the Tank comments. Come on, man.
Look, these are all. Look at the chat now. Everyone's flying in with Ryan, mate.
There's mad people in the chat bigging up Tank, and you ain't saying person there. It's cool. This is what happens when you're the host. You give a man a little bit of power, and this is what happens.
Right, mate. Right. Yeah.
Got to spin a narrative.
Mate, I ain't spinning no narrative at all. It's actually 5-1 odds for Garcia to win by a knockout. So not the biggest odds, but I think that's decent odds if you think. They're both in the ring now, getting announced. They are both in the ring now. Gervonta Davis, he looks excited, mate. He looks happy. He looks like he's licking his lips at the prospect of getting in there. An absolute slugfest.
World title fights, just world title fights alone, Tank has had 12 and won them all. 12-0 for world title fights is crazy.
It is. And now, to be fair, now we're getting the love for Tank. Tank will kill him. Team Tank all day, 60-40 Tank.
People.
Tank. Mike Tyson watching the fight as well. Can Tank Davis unleash his inner Mike Tyson and knock him out? I hope Ryan knocks that smug expression clean off Tank's face. When's it going to start? It's starting now, mate. It's starting now. The two fighters are getting ready to rumble in the jungle. Tank is too well-rounded and there is too much movement. And arguably his boxing IQ is slightly higher of that Ryan Garcia has shown of recently. The fight is now Team Ryan, baby. Come on, Ryan, knock this fool out. It's a bit of a split. In the chat, to be fair.
Yeah, as it should be. As definitely it should be. Refs giving them their instructions, going back to the corner now. We're about to get underway any second. Now, Too Busy Entertainment. Fight is starting now. 30 seconds. Literally.
Come on, baby.
Start right now.
Come on, baby. This is it. This is it. This is where the magic is made. Gervonta Davis looking light on his feet. Camera zooms in.
Ryan's looking nervous.
He's looking a little bit more pensive.
Let's see how he starts this fight. If he comes out and tries to establish himself early,
he's establishing the center of the ring right now. He is. Good jab.
That's what we expect from him.
Good jab, establishing it.
Gervonta's just got to just soak up some of this, not pressure, but soak this up and just get that timing. Just get that timing right. That's all. You know, we're already seeing Ryan try to go for overhand left. That's where he can get caught. You know, Tank comes on the inside. That's where he can get caught out.
He can. But so far, Ryan Garcia controlling the fight. He's fighting his game. He's taking center ring right now, and he's pushing Davis back.
You can't say that's controlling the fight because that's how Davis fights. That's part of his game plan. It might look like he's controlling, but that's not necessarily in control. That's the thing that's interesting about this fight. Both of these guys, you know, that's how both of them want to fight. It's going to look like Garcia's taking control and then dictating the pace, but this is both their styles. But
that's body shot, but he's pinging him off with the jab right now. He's pinging him off. Don't discredit him. I know what you mean. I know Davis is the kind of guy that analyzes your movement. He likes to sit back, allow you to come onto him, and he basically goes through the archive inside of his brain of exactly how to break someone down. But Ryan Garcia doing everything you'd want him to do right now. Getting caught with a little body shot there. But if you're a Ryan Garcia fan, you probably, you'd be relatively happy with what you're seeing right now. He doesn't look too fearful of Davis, which is exactly what you want. Ryan has to look for counters. It's hundreds of thousands on Tank right now. Ryan is so much bigger in there. Use that reach. Jab, jab, jab. Jab is not off, mate. Give him that jab like Pfizer.
Davis, I mean, he is going to jab, but it's just he's going to end up in problems. He has to use a little bit of diversity. We're already seeing the two styles clash as their feet come close together and they look to almost tread on each other. And, he's going to have to show a little bit of variety. If he just jabs all the way through the fight and allows Tank to counter him, then he's going to come into some problems. It's going to be really interesting to see who lands the first power punch. The first clean power punch is going to be really interesting. And how do they recover from that? So, we haven't seen that yet. 40 seconds left in the first round, but when that does eventually happen, nearly happened there for Ryan Garcia, but that's what's going to be interesting.
It is, and you're already seeing Garcia look for that left hook there. He hit a nice one to the body earlier. He's feeling him out right now. He's trying that fake jab straight into a left hook, and he's finding a little bit of success with it, but Tank now starting to come back with some offense of his own, starting to implement a bit more attack, a bit more offense on his side. But the first round is about to end, and it's a close one. It's a tough one to score, but I potentially have King Ryan up on the cards on that one. What do you guys have on that?
Yeah, I'll probably give that round to Ryan Garcia as well. Like you said, dictating the pace is what you'd expect from him. I was interested to see if maybe Tank would try to shave the round, do something flashy and hit a power punch right at the end, just because it was a reasonably competitive round to try and nick it. But he didn't. He looked quite comfortable giving up the rounds, and that's normally a sign that a fighter's confident in getting a knockout. He's happy to give up rounds. He's not too bothered. And actually, he's confident he's going to get the knockout at a later date.
Mm-hmm. Round one, Tank, Ryan for me. Tank keeping distance. They both did nothing, but Ryan did more One down, possibly 11 to go. Yeah, I mean, look, I'm seeing a lot of people saying it's a boring round. I don't think it's a boring round. I think it's a mega fight, and they're both feeling each other out. It's still a long, long way to go in this. Neither of them wants to gas out. Neither of them wants to overassert themselves. And obviously, you know, Ryan Garcia especially draining all that weight out of him. He doesn't want to, you know, burst too much energy out too quickly.
Well, Arsenal 17 said it best in the chat. He said that, you know, Davis is gathering data, and that's a great way to put it. Do you know what I'm saying? He's gathering information, he's gathering data so that he can start to, but everyone fights a little bit differently. It's not just as simple as going in and throwing a power punch and knocking him out. You've got to get that timing right, especially against someone who's so quick like Ryan Garcia. So, you know, we're not getting action.
Ryan unloading the clip right now.
Tank's
unloading the clip
trying to hold on.
And Tank is clinching for dear life here. He's almost gone for a double leg takedown there.
Oh, looks like almost an elbow in there. There was an elbow in there by Ryan, it looked like. I don't know if you see that, the left elbow.
Oh, Ryan closing him down. Now he's got him in the corner, but this is where Tank is dangerous. You've seen it before. He likes to sucker people in. He likes to play possum, as Adesanya says, and that is when he strikes like a viper. But Garcia right now connecting with the left hook. And again, Tank clinches, and he's trying to bully him in there. He's seen that Ryan Garcia's cut weight, and he's trying to bully him in the clinch right there. He is. He's trying to use his low center of gravity to throw him around there. He's almost gone for a judo hip toss. What's going on here? Good work by Garcia, though. Has to be said.
I just think, you know, he's trying to use that size advantage. I think Tank's the natural, more aggressive fighter. So I feel like, you know, he's trying to assert that dominance and be equally as aggressive, which is, you know, I'm not mad at that tactic at all. It's a little bit scrappy, but I'm not mad at that tactic at all.
Another right hook. Oh, beautiful right uppercut. And Tank's holding on for dear life here. Oh, my God. Garcia, dirty boxing on the inside. And this is what I said, mate. Could he start playing into Tank's game plan, trying to rough him up? And this is exactly what he's doing. Oh, my God. He's been connected. And that's what I said. Tries to rough him up. Tries to play into Gervonta Davis's game plan, and he gets hit with a beautiful left hook.
I told you.
Comes in.
Who told you? Who told you?
Wow, he's been dropped.
I told you. He's getting reckless. He's getting reckless. This is what's going to happen. You know, he's going to have to try and fight dirty, but you know, once Davis has got that data, he's got that range. This is what can happen. You know, the biggest weakness for Ryan Garcia has been his chin. We saw it against Luke Campbell. We've just seen it there again. And in a round where the big disappointing thing is 30 seconds left of the round, James, this is a round where Ryan Garcia has been more aggressive, but he's going to lose the round from getting knocked out.
Yeah, no, he was. He was actually he was up on the scorecards for me on that round, but that knockdown completely changes everything. Now, Gervonta Davis in control. Could we see what we said before? Potentially a knockdown in round 2, potentially Garcia putting him down in round 3, because Garcia has looked dangerous, but Gervonta Davis in the end of that second round really growing in confidence now, and now this is where he's dangerous. That is where he's dangerous, mate.
100%. And this is the thing, you know, when you're going to go and be aggressive, you have to have controlled aggression. We spoke before about Ryan having his chin in the air, throwing blind punches. He's very, very talented, Ryan. He's very quick, but he throws blind punches.
Ooh,
just gets
look at that hook.
That counter
right on the chin.
That's a beautiful
comes
counter.
Leaning in.
Bang.
Oh, yeah, he goes for his patented left hook. As 100%. He does, Tank slips it and right on the chin. Beautiful technique.
Julian Bailey in the chat asking who got dropped. Yeah, Ryan Garcia throws a wild left hook, putting Tank under pressure. He misses it. Tank manages to slip it and catches Ryan clean. Ryan goes straight down. And then let's see how Ryan comes back. Is he going to continue that aggression? You know, does he get gun shy from that? Like I say, it's all about how does this person react from that power punch. And Ryan got a little bit overconfident there. A little bit overconfident.
It was flush like the turd in the back of your toilet after you've had a hot vindaloo on a summer's night, mate. A beautiful, beautiful shot there. And that's exactly what we were saying about the man with the shorter arms, the shorter reach. When he gets close, he's going to be able to spring off that power and that left hook a hell of a lot quicker than you can, even though Garcia does have the quicker hands. So right now, Tank Davis looking a little bit more in control. And anybody that was saying this is a boring fight, it certainly ain't no boring fight now.
People are saying in the chat there's a flash knockdown and he got up. That is true, 100%. He's not damaged. He's not looking like he's KO'd or anything like that. But what we're saying is these early rounds for Ryan Garcia's game plan are all going to be about nicking these rounds using his jab. And he's lost that round now. These first 6, 7 rounds, this is the weakest part of the fight for Tank Davis. He wants to be winning these rounds. So a knockdown is not great for his overall game plan. And is that going to change up his game plan? You know, we're not saying it's a knockout. You're right. It was a flash knockdown, 100%.
It was a flash knockdown, but it puts everything into it. It completely changes the fight for Ryan Garcia, as you said. And now it just gives so much confidence to Gervonta Davis, so much confidence. And that is where he's dangerous. At least before, he was keeping him at bay with the jab. He was actually, he was roughing him up a little bit there. But now Gervonta Davis, he's got his man on the canvas once.
We're halfway through the third round, and Ryan's already throwing much less punches than he was throwing in the first 2 rounds. So that flash knockdown, although people are saying it's a flash knockdown, and they are correct in the chat, is definitely affecting him. It's affecting him mentally because he's not throwing as many punches now. Doesn't want to come forwards quite as much.
Well, I think you've got a point there, but I think it's also more, it's affecting Davis in that he has a lot more confidence now. He's starting to smell the blood a little bit. He's trying to get him out of there early. Psychologically, once you've already got your man to the canvas, you know you can hit that chin, and he knows he can hit it again.
For sure, but it's the nature.
Waiting for the right moment now.
He caught his man's chin because Ryan Garcia was coming in. You know, if Tank goes on the aggressive, he's less likely to catch him as clean. You know, Ryan Garcia's biggest weakness is himself. The way he comes in, his hands are low. For me, if I'm Tank, you got the counter, let him come in, then counter him. You start going on the offensive, Ryan Garcia can be dangerous then as well. Now you're playing into his game plan.
Mm-hmm. And he does look a bit devoid of ideas right now, Garcia, it has to be said. He does look like he's really struggling to break down Davis. Davis, right now, I don't know if you'd say he's looking like he's showing a gulf of class ahead right now. His movement and his IQ, the way he's cutting the ring off here, is really causing Garcia a lot of trouble. And he's not able to establish his game plan at all here in this third round. And that is the end of the third round. And for me, I think I give that to Gervonta Davis personally. I think that knockdown's completely changed the fight.
100%. And like I said, you know, these early rounds, we all predicted Ryan would come in and Nick take the early rounds with jabs and move in and using his speed. And then maybe Gervonta Davis later in the fight. He's given up part of that game plan now. You know, it's 3 rounds in and we've both got it, I think, 2 rounds to Davis, which is not what anybody expected. And now the more desperate he goes to go and get this knockout, the more problems he's going to
Well, technically 3 as well, because one was a 10-8. So because
there you go. It's a good point. Good point. 100%.
So one was a 10-8 because of the knockdown. So Davis really in control here. And now you're going to have to see Ryan Garcia try to come out. I mean, look, it is still early doors. There's still a lot of the fight left. There's still 9 rounds for him to pick up. But now I think you're going to see Ryan Garcia try to come even closer, try to rough him up. And he could be chasing the fight a little bit, and that's dangerous for him there. Garcia thought he had Davis rattled. He was winning the second, but Davis is too smart with it. False sense of security. Exactly, mate. He was playing possum, and he suckered him in there with a beautiful, beautiful left hook. Davis is smiling while fighting. You can see he's enjoying it. He is enjoying it. And Ryan Garcia, on the other hand, looking arguably a little bit more tentative there. A little bit more tentative now, like you say. I wouldn't say he's gun shy specifically, but he's definitely got a lot more respect for the power of Davis.
100%. It reminds me a lot of when AJ got a little bit overconfident in that first Ruiz fight, went for the kill, you know, overexerted himself a little bit, left himself open, and that one punch then changed the trajectory of the fight. Something very, very similar there. Do you know what I'm saying? Shout out Turkish in the chat as well. My guy Turkish locking in. But yeah, just really, really, you know, he's done it to himself there, Davis, you know, and I just don't want to see Tank do exactly the same thing. He's done it to himself, Ryan Garcia, got himself into trouble, and I don't want to see Tank do the same thing and overexert himself. Just keep boxing smart.
It is. And Turkish in here, as you say, Garcia thought he had Davis rattled. He was, oh, that's exactly what I just read. Turkish. Oh, man, I'm sorry, I'm focusing on the fight. I didn't see the actual name. Of who was it, but love to you, man. Shout out Turkish coming in big here. Shout out, what a finish. Hopefully there is a dramatic finish to this fight as well. Only a madman doesn't respect power, and Garcia ain't no fury, but he does have furious fists. That's for sure. He's still dangerous, mate. He's still dangerous. Don't count him out of this yet. Beautiful right hook by him, but there you go. He's caught. He's caught again with that left straight from Davis.
Yeah, Davis is starting to grow in confidence, like you said, putting more combinations together. He was throwing ones, now he's throwing ones and twos, and you just don't want him to be confident against you.
He's catching him with that jab every single time now. That jab is on the button. It's finding its target with ease. With
Ryan
ease,
Garcia's
mate.
Best chance, the way he wins, he has to be aggressive. He got over-aggressive, now he's being under-aggressive. He needs to find that happy medium of the right amount of aggression to push his man back. He was doing it well in the first round. He needs to establish himself again.
He just needs to find that one shot for me. Find that one power shot. Get Davis to respect your power. Because right now, Davis, we spoke about it with Garcia respecting his power. Now, Davis doesn't really seem to have any respect for Garcia's power. He's sitting in the pocket now. He's coming in. He's trying to take center ring. And he's the one on the front foot, which is exactly what we saw early doors from Garcia.
Last 30 seconds of round 4, guys. We don't have a timer on the screen, so just letting you know where we're at. Last 30 seconds, last 20 seconds now, round 4.
That's a fake tweet. Jesus, I thought that was real. Sky Bet Championship. Welcome to the championship. Fucking, brilliant, mate. Brilliant, funny stuff. And that is the end of the round. Who are you giving that one to?
I mean, it's I've got to give it to Tank again. Do you know what I'm saying? More aggressive, landing clean. Ryan offering very, very little, and this is the problem I had with Ryan Garcia. A little bit one-dimensional. If that one game plan doesn't work, does he have the IQ to figure something out? We've got to find out right now. He has to figure it out now on the job, himself and his coaching team. But ultimately, he's the one in the ring, and he's got to find a way out. He's got to think his way through this fight.
Yeah. Absolutely, mate. Absolutely. Tank for sure. Floyd Money Mayweather in the chat. Shout out to you. And as you say that, Manny Pacquiao's just popped up on camera as well. What we could do, or what Ryan Garcia could do for some of that Manny Pacquiao speed. And there's Floyd Money Mayweather. Floyd Money Mayweather as well. Getting about there. Tank is way too cute. I mean, I don't know if you mean his cute boxing style or his cute looks, but I presume you mean his ring IQ and his intricacy in his punches. 3-1 Tank, and he gets that knockdown for me, giving that a 10-8 round. You've got to take that into account. Now Ryan has to knock him out or get the knockdown. Yeah, exactly, mate. He needs that one big shot to change the momentum in this fight. Right now, they're going against the tide. They're in that raft. They're in that wooden raft. And unfortunately for Ryan Garcia, that tide is dragging him all the way into the abyss. And there is a huge Loch Ness monster waiting there to gobble him up. If he doesn't get that raft out, get that paddle out of somewhere, and start getting himself out of here within the next few rounds.
We're a minute into round 5. Well, minute into round 5, and it's very similar. It's Tank Davis being the aggressor. Ryan walking forward, but not throwing many punches while he's walking forward. He's just trying to maybe get Tank back up against the ropes to feel comfortable throwing punches. That's really the concern. Great counter left from Tank again. Do you know what I mean? As soon as he feels the ropes touch his back, he's launching off that back foot, and it's causing Ryan all sorts of problems now. Halfway through round 5.
Ryan Garcia maybe conserving energy. Maybe he looks like he's got a little bit more energy right now. He's coming on the front foot a bit more. He's trying to corner Davis a bit. But Davis, man, his footwork is too good. He's circling out of that every time. His lateral movement there is phenomenal. And everything people were saying about Garcia's footwork going into the fight is looking like it was true. It's looking like it was correct. There's a huge golfing class whenever they get close. Huge
100%, 100%. And it's this, like you said, it's the foot movement, to stepping outside. He's fighting from the southpaw stance, so his right leg is forwards, and he just spins out to the right and gets around the ring. And it's such good footwork. It might not look super flashy, but it's so effective to get him out of trouble.
It is. And Ryan Garcia looking like he's in some trouble there. It looked like he was turning away almost. I don't know what the hell was going on there. Who he was looking at, like he was looking at one of his coaches or something. But he did manage to get out of it.
Yeah, he doesn't want to be doing that. You know what I mean? He wants to be just staying focused. He's got 30 seconds left in the round. Stay focused. Talk to your coach in between rounds. But once we're in there, just focus up.
He turns away a lot. He's giving up his back so much there. Davis was literally spinning him round. I mean, obviously, it is a boxing fight. So once you get their back, there's not really much you can do. But he can't keep giving up his back that easily. I don't get what the hell's actually going on here. What he's thinking with that.
Yeah.
But we are going into the penultimate 5 seconds of the round, the final 5 seconds. And that is the end of the round, a round with slightly less activity. But as someone's saying there, Gervonta Davis spinning Ryan Garcia like a Beyblade, like Eden Hazard did to Coquelin all those years ago. Very reminiscent of that right there. But now, would you say Tank is controlling the fight? I heard someone say he's in second gear right now. And it does really look that way.
Nearly halfway into the fight, we all thought that Ryan, we were giving, me trying to be respectful and give Ryan some credit. We said, at the end of the day, he'd win the rounds and maybe Tank comes with the knockout. But now we're 5 rounds in and Tank is up 5-1 because, like you say, because the 10-8 round, he's up 5-1, So Ryan's got to figure something out. Does he go gun-ho? Does he try to go back to his jab and win rounds? These are the conversations he needs to have with his coach. What do we do here? What's the strategy? If he tries to go gun-ho, he's got to get a knockout, or does he just, if he doesn't start winning rounds now, then,
Oh, yeah, he is up shit's creek without a paddle if he doesn't start
100%.
winning rounds now. That's for sure, mate. Davis 4-on up with a 10-8, and Garcia's due to fade out. Potentially, yeah, because like we said, he did lose so much weight. So as the fight goes on, obviously with that rehydration clause as well, it could really come into effect. But he's in with a puncher's chance, mate. He is still in with a puncher's chance. And as the fight goes on, he's shown that he can carry his power throughout the rounds as well. Whether he'll be able to, after sucking this many fluids and this much weight out of his body, we don't know how he's going to carry his power, which is kind of the unknown right now. But he's still dangerous. If you're Gervonta Davis, yes, you're controlling this fight, but don't take him too lightly. I think you still got to try and get him out of here. Still got to try and get him out.
Arsenal Maniac was asking in the chat, is this fight going to stay like this, or is it really going to take off and get in some action? And that's the question I'm asking too. It's all about Ryan Garcia and what him and his team want to do, because if Tank starts to take the next round or two, he can cruise all the way to just jabbing
like
himself.
Tony.
And just cruise all the way to a points victory. So it really comes down to Garcia. What does he do? What does his team do? What is he capable of doing at this point?
Mm-hmm. No, absolutely, mate. Tank has the IQ advantage, and Garcia is just freestyling. He needs to counter the counter puncher. Yeah, it definitely looks like that. It looks like one guy who's revised for the exam and one guy who was naturally smart, and he's going in there in the maths exam. He might still be able to get the knockdown. It might be one of those situations where he somehow flukes his way, gets the answer right, and the teacher scribbles underneath. He's like, show you're working. You haven't shown any working. How the hell have you got to this answer, mate? But he somehow gets the win out of it. But right now, it's looking like Gervonta Davis is the man, the bookworm that has been sat in the library for weeks upon weeks upon weeks. He knows everything about this inside out. Like I said, I still wouldn't count Garcia out. But Davis is looking so comfortable in there. He's got a smile on his face. That jab is hitting Garcia every single time. He's been hit with a couple of his own now. Garcia starting to come back with a bit of fight. There's still some fight in the old dog. Still some fight. But every time he does, Davis steps back and hits him with that counter left. Every single time, mate.
That's the thing. I mean, people in the chat were saying earlier, I'm not trying to argue with them in the chat, but people in the chat were saying earlier it's a flash knockdown. Don't get too excited. We weren't getting excited about the knockdown like it was a knockout, but we realized in that moment, him being down in the second round changes the trajectory of the fight. And that's exactly what happened. Into the last 20 seconds now, round 6. And Ryan's not run around since maybe the first round. He hasn't won one.
No, he hasn't. And he was actually winning that second round as well, which is what makes it such a big knockdown, because it completely changed it. And it was a beautiful knockdown as well. He slipped the left hook of Garcia, hit him with a beautiful left hook on the button, and round 6 as well. I think that's a better round for Garcia. I don't think that Tank was able to establish his game plan, and I think that's probably the closest round of the fight so far for me. Aside from maybe the second round. Who do you
give it to then?
Who do I give it to? I don't know if I can say Ryan Garcia. I don't know if I can say he did enough for that round, but I also don't think that it was a clear round for Gervonta Davis. I think Garcia was stepping forward. He was controlling the ring. He was taking center of the ring. He was applying the more pressure, so certain judges could give that to him. And he did connect with a couple of nice hooks. Here's a beautiful right hook to the temple of Davis there. What a shot. Actually, you know what? I am
He's
actually going to give
connected
that
clean. Yeah, I might give that to Garcia. I mean,
Yeah,
he's
I'll give that
connected
to
clean
Garcia.
with a couple of punches, but then there could be another worry there. Well, although he's connected clean, that they didn't really do a huge amount of damage. Do you know what I mean? He's gonna have to put much more of these together to get any significant damage. We've seen the Charlo twins, or the Charlo brothers rather. I don't know if you know if they're twins or brothers, but we're seeing the Charlos on screen right now. Always entertaining and good to see them as well. But those punches just not really doing much damage to Davis at the moment.
Not doing much damage, but he's letting him know he's there, man. He's letting him know that he's there. And he's in the pocket now, and he's starting to tee off on Davis. There you go. He swings wildly with that right hook. He misses. If that connects, mate. If that connects, it is good night, Gervonta Davis. And Garcia, yeah, I think I'd give him that round as well. Starting to come back into the fight here. Arsenal Maniac, let's go, Garcia. More confident as the rounds go by. And you see him getting a late TKO. I'm not sure I personally see him getting a TKO. I potentially see him getting a knockout. I don't know about a TKO. Steve Farhood there on the cards agreeing with us that you give that last round to Garcia. First round and round 6 for Garcia for me. 58-55 overall for Gervonta Davis. Garcia not out of this fight by a long stretch. Still 6 rounds to go. Never watch boxing. What's 4-2? 4-2 is basically each round, if no one's knocked down, you usually give one fighter 10 points, one fighter 9 points. And it's basically round for round. Say if someone won 2 rounds and I won 1 round, then they would be up 2 rounds to 1. So that's how you score it. It could be based on a variety of factors. Oh, he's down again. He's taken a knee. Garcia is down. Oh,
every power punch,
Lord!
Every clean power punch.
I don't know what it was. Just the knee there.
Oh, left shot to the body.
He's done. Ryan Garcia has been stopped.
Round 7.
I think it was a body shot. I didn't quite
left
see.
Shot to the I saw it clean. It was a left shot to the body.
He's down. He's quit on his stool. Well, not on his stool.
Midway round through 7, and the biggest problem, midway round through round 7, he stopped. And the biggest problem with Ryan Garcia today is the chin. He took 1 clean power punch to the jaw, and he went down. He took 1 clean power punch to the body, and he went down again. 2 clean, real power punches, and that's what took him out.
It was beautiful. It came unexpected there because Garcia was having a lot of joy there. I need to see the replay on that. It looked like it was a beautiful body shot, and he's taken the knee. And the ref has waved it off. It looked like he didn't want to continue that fight at all. It looked like
Davis is the best at setting traps. It's not unexpected. The same thing as the second round when he got the knockdown the first time. As soon as Ryan Garcia starts to overexert himself and get too aggressive, and he's not controlled aggression. Once he gets too aggressive and he starts throwing too many punches, easy shot, easy work for Tank Davis to counter punch and get his rhythm. Richard Hobson said he said KO round 7, and he got it right. And to me, I don't know, man. I don't know if that's a quit or what. Mikey said in the chat he saw him wince, but it was definitely a left shot to the body, and he gave up pretty easy.
He did give up pretty easy there. I don't know. He tried to get up. I want to see it again there. I mean, his nose was bloodied as well, so I don't know if he got. I don't know where he got caught there. It looked like it was a body shot for me. I'm still waiting for the confirmation of the replay.
It's over. Ryan Garcia.
It's over. It is.
The refs called it off in the middle of round 7, and Tank
round
Davis
7, and you got to say, Nick, Ryan Garcia didn't look like he wanted to continue that fight. I mean, I think that could be harsh to say until I've seen it again, but it did look like. I don't ever want to say a fight is given up, because I think that's a very harsh thing to say there. But it did look like he took that shot, he took the knee, and I think he realized there was a bit of a golfing class here. Let's have another look at it. Beautiful left hook to the body. He steps back, tries to get some distance. Jab, still stepping back, and then he just takes the knee. The wind sucked out of him. So that was a very, very, very delayed stoppage there. He took the body shot, and he ended up taking the knee about 8 seconds after it. It was just a liver shot that sucked sucked the energy out of him. And when you get hit with one of those, wow, it feels like you're literally getting stabbed in the stomach. So kidney shot, sorry, someone said liver shot, kidney shot. I think it might have been liver shot. Liver shot will be puking blood for weeks now. Yeah, that was a nasty liver shot there. Nasty. Garcia ducked it. I mean, sorry, Gervonta Davis not ducked it. Slipped the punch, and it's a beautiful left hook again. 2 left hooks, as you said, as the story of the fight, mate.
Yeah, I imagine that hurt, but I think he's going to feel some frustration. I don't think he gave the best account of himself tonight. I think he'll wake up tomorrow and be quite frustrated in himself. And I look at him and his team. I'm not sure. Obviously, we're talking to the chat, so we don't have the audio, but I'm not sure quite what the game plan was there. From round 2, it was immediately clear from the second round. If he goes in and tries to be aggressive and tries to out-aggression Tank, he's probably not. It's probably not going to work for him. And he continued to do that, you know, in those late rounds. His strength is what you said before the fight, James. You said, you know, is he going to try and go, you know, cojones versus cojones, or is he going to stick to his jab and move? He didn't stick to his jab and move. He tried to put his balls on the table, so to speak, and it didn't work out for him.
You got to admire that. You have to admire that, though. He did prove to everyone today that, you know, he is more than able to hang in there with Davis. I know
if
he did end up getting outclassed in there, but he's more than willing to sit in the pocket. He's more than willing to trade. You know, he did not play an easy fight at all.
I don't think he proved that.
He showed balls. Come on, man. Give him some credit. The guy showed some serious balls. Sit in the pocket with a killer like Gervonta Davis. To sit in the pocket. And even he got knocked down and he still stepped forward. He was still trying to take center of the ring as the fight went on. Laurie Lyle saying he's a quitter, saying he didn't even try to get up. Laurie, mate, he's going to be having an absolute field day this Thursday.
It's levels, James, it's levels. He stopped halfway through round 7. He didn't give the best account of himself. He took a nasty body shot. His nose is bloodied, and he's down dramatically on the scorecards. So he's been beaten in every possible department. He's been outboxed. He's been outfought. He's been outpunched, outpowered. Everything. He's been completely dominated in every possible department. He is not going to wake up tomorrow and even think he wants to get back in there and fight Tank again. If he fights that fight 10 times, I think he loses 10 times. You know,
he was outclassed. You're right. He was outclassed. But 100%. I think, you know, he still showed the confidence, like I said, to try and sit in the pocket and trade. Like you said, he could have played it more on the outside. He could have used his reach, tried to dance around.
That's misplaced confidence.
Not misplaced confidence, exactly. I'm saying he deserves credit for the confidence and the balls to be able to do it. But at the end of the day, the class was just, there was too high of a golfing class. I thought maybe he was gonna, you know, pull out a performance never seen before from Ryan Garcia, but Gervonta Davis is too intelligent of a boxer, and he suckered him in, and he ended up playing into his game plan. And you're right. I'm not saying that Ryan Garcia showed, I mean, maybe I misplaced my words there when I said he was that he showed potentially that he belongs in there with Gervonta Davis. But no, Gervonta Davis, all hats go tipped to him. All credit goes to him. It was beautiful, mate. Tank's head movement was crazy, mate. Different gravy, mate. Bisto's finest gravy, the Real Diao. And that's 29th win for.
Also, I said round 8, and it was a round earlier.
Ooh, could have made some bank there if he put it on a round. Close, but no cigar. And unfortunately, I lose my money back to Shane. You win some, you lose some. I had the £10. I doubled or nothing. It should have just kept the tenner. But hey, that's the game, isn't it, Shane? Congratulations. You've managed to keep your money. Sadiq Garcia walking around after the countdown. Surely he could try to carry on. Do you think it was premature from him to stop there? I know Laurie seems to think so.
I mean, I don't know how he feels in that moment when he takes the body shot. Tank punches very, very hard. And, you know, a body shot is difficult. He's a shorter man and he should be looking to target the body. And that's exactly what he did. But I think he could have carried on. For me, I think he could have carried on. I think I'll put it this way. Let's put it this way. Was the fight more competitive? He wouldn't have stopped it there. Mm-hmm. He knows he's way down on the cards. That's the extra context. He's way down on the cards, and he knows that he's never winning that fight. if the fight was more competitive, if it was not for the knockdown, if he had a couple of rounds and it was closer on the cards, I think he carries on. The reality is he knows he's out of the fight, and he knows the only way he can win that fight is if he wins by KO, and he knows he's not KOing him. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's what makes it a bit of a bottle job. That's what makes it, you know, him quitting.
Yeah, and actually, Arsenal Maniac here, this is a good point now I want to touch on. You said no punch resistance, it seems. And I think a huge part of that was him cutting down all that weight. And with the rehydration clause that he could only put 10 pounds of weight back on after, I think he ended up just sucking too much weight out of himself there. And he didn't look like he had the same Ryan Garcia energy that he's shown in other fights. And I think fighting at this low weight has proved to be a big problem for him. People called him a weight bully for trying to cut down too much. And with the rehydration clause in effect, I think that's a good point. His punch resistance did not seem there. As you said, mate, the two sweet left hooks that connected put him down with the left hook to the chin and then left hook to the body, put him out. So put him out. Good night, baby. 5 p.m., 5 a.m. over here.
Turkish in the chat said it was premature and that he got up as soon as the count hit 10. You know, and he showed that he had more in the tank. But like I say, he knows he's not.
More in the tank.
He knows he's not going to win the fight. He knew that. Do you know what I'm saying? So all you TikTok followers and you Instagram followers.
Don't do that, man. Don't go with the TikToks and the Instagram followers, man. Come on, man. Show the guy some respect. The guy put his balls on the line. He put his heart. No, you're calling him a TikToker and Instagram, whatever. Look, the guy is still an elite fighter, but Gervonta Davis
not an elite
is just he's not the elite of the elite. He's an elite. He's a very good, arguably elite, but I think Gervonta Davis is just a cut above. He's just the creme de la creme. Does Tank get Haney left? If Haney next, if Haney gets through as other challenges, yes. Tank hits too hard, man. Was it Tank's power, do we think, or was it the punch resistance of Ryan Garcia with the weight cut coming into effect there? I think it's harsh to say that he gave up like that. A dirty liver shot like that, like you said, he could be coughing up blood for days. I don't know the extent of it. It seemed like it was a pretty nasty shot, although the way he did get up late did kind of maybe strike like a man who took the out in the fight. Maybe he could have gone out on his shoulder a bit more.
It's a mixture of both. You know, the person asked, you know, is it poor punch resistance or is it power? It's both. You know, we see Tank knock people out on a regular basis, so we know that he hits hard. But we've seen, you know, every power punch that connects, Garcia seems to go down. We have yet to see him stand up to a power punch and not go down. So, you know, it's a mixture of both.
It is a slight mixture of both. Both Garcia didn't want the smoke. Early call, bro. I mean, no, I don't think it was. I don't think it was an early call. I don't think
he didn't even complain. He didn't even complain.
No, he didn't.
So
he didn't. Look, he starts to get up there, and then he puts his head back down, looks to the floor, and he looks to the floor again. Once you do that, I mean, you've basically shown your cards.
10. He waited for the 10. Yeah. As soon as the referee said 10. He stood up. He waited.
And he had a smile on his face as well as he did it. So, yeah.
100%, you know. But now, you know, I think Haney will probably dispatch of Lomachenko. And it's got to be all about now seeing Tank and Haney. You know, that's what it's got to be. You know, Haney holds all the belts and Tank's got a WBA regular belt. You know, we've got to see that fight. That's got to be done. I know Shakur Stevenson's waiting. I know other fighters are waiting. But the way these two are fighting right now, we've got to see that.
We do, we really do. Real boxing fans understand what Liver Punch can do, and yeah, I do want to say as well, you know, not to completely discredit it. It was a mean shot. It was a very, very mean shot, and one of those connecting straight, like you say, you can literally be coughing up blood for days. So we don't know the extent of it. It could have been really bad. The only reason people would say that maybe he quit is because you judge these people to a higher standard than you would a regular person. You know, like any regular person going in with the best of the world, taking a mean shot like that, you probably wouldn't say too much. But people expect this to be, you know, another Diego Corrales situation where they would literally put their life on the line to carry on there. So we don't know the extent of it. But
do you know what it is, James? It's a hard body shot. Liver shots do a lot of damage. They hurt really bad. They take a second to set in. They take a couple of seconds. They don't hit straight away. But also, he knows in his heart, what I see from the way that he got up on the count of 10, he knows for a fact that if he does beat the 10 count, and he's capable of beating the 10 count, if he does get up before 10, he knows he's getting sent straight back to the canvas in devastating fashion. He knows. Do you know what it is? Do you know what he knew? He knew he was getting memed, James. If he got up, no. Honestly, people in the chat tell me if I'm wrong. He knows that if he gets up on 5, 6, 7, or 8, he is getting memed, bruv. Do you know what I'm saying? So he just stood there and said, I'm going to take. I'll take the easy way out, and that's what makes it the easy way out, because he could have carried on. The punch hit hard, it hurt. I understand, but you can't go through a boxing match and not get hurt. And he knows if he gets back up, he's going straight to sleep. Do you know what I mean? And that's just what it is.
I don't know, mate. I think that's slightly harsh, but yeah, I think that fight was only going one way after that, mate. Why are you so sure that Haney beats Loma? Very good question there. Tank is a complete fighter, can box and can knock a breeder out. He can knock anybody out on his day. That's what I mean, man. He's so slick, and actually his activity is something that I didn't give enough credit going into the fight. I thought the hand speed of Ryan Garcia was going to be too much, but Gervonta Davis really, especially in the third, fourth round, was the guy establishing the jab a hell of a lot more. He was out jabbing Ryan Garcia. He was keeping him at bay with his hand speed. So his activity for me, I was really, really impressed with in that fight. Really was play up Ryan. Yeah, I don't think that whole betting of the whole purse is actually going to happen. Look, fair play to both guys. They are going to be making a lot of money for this fight. Nick talking bare facts. Ryan didn't want to get up and be a highlight reel, Laurie, mate.
100%. Laurie knows what it is. He was capable of getting up, but he knew he was getting straight back down. That's just what it is. And what makes me confident that Haney wins the Lomachenko fight. Tune in with us. We'll be back here again to watch that fight. And maybe I'm proved wrong that time. I was proved right today. But for me, I think it's an aging Lomachenko. His legs are starting to go. It's not the same Lomachenko as it was in years gone by. And I just think Devin Haney will be able to. A lot of Lomachenko's game is based on, I think he's got hand injuries, and I think a lot of it is based on his movement. His legs are starting to go. I really, really like Lomachenko. No disrespect to him. I just think Devin Haney gets the job done.
Tank, don't jab. This guy's, literally every fighter jabs. I'm not quite sure what you mean by Tank doesn't jab. I think I've got Haney with that one as well. Ryan Garcia has a glass chin and stomach. A glass stomach.
Shaqs, that's Amir Khan 2.0. I told these man that. That's Mexican Amir Khan, blood. Just saying. Real talk. Amir Carnello in that. You know what I mean? That's
Amir Carnello.
100%.
Oh, mate.
100%. If he gets up, he's getting shot, bro.
Amir Carnello.
He knows that for
that's quality, mate. That's the best line you've come up with.
He knows that for a fact. If he gets up, he gets put down in devastating fashion. That's just a fact.
Amir Carnello, mate. Yeah, I think he needs a couple of those Amir Khan handshakes after that fight. That's for sure, mate.
100%.
135 pound for him with his height is not good. Literally, yeah. Look, man, I think he sucked way too much weight out of himself, personally, mate.
But listen, with that punch resistance, we had this conversation before. Arsenal Maniac, with that punch resistance that he's got, if he goes and steps up to weights above himself, it's going to be finished for him. If he gets hit by any of the guys that are heavier than him, even if he goes up to 150, 15 pounds extra, he doesn't have to suck the weight out. If he fights at 150, 154, and those guys connect with him, they're doing some serious damage to him.
Yeah, but what do you mean heavier than him? He's got the frame to be able to maintain that weight. He just needs to put more weight on himself and not suck as much weight out. I don't think these people are naturally going to be that much heavier than him. If he steps up 10 pounds weight class and doesn't have to suck this much out.
Listen, if he goes up, not even 10 pounds, if he goes up 12 pounds heavier, and he's fighting Terence Crawford and Errol Spence, they will starch him. If a hook from and Tank hits hard, don't get me wrong, but if those guys hit him with that type of punch resistance, he's in big problems.
But like I said, the punch resistance was because of the fact he was cutting weight as well. That is a massive factor.
He wasn't cutting weight. He wasn't cutting weight when he was fighting Luke Campbell.
He wasn't stopped that fight. He came back in that fight. This fight, he had to cut so much, and the rehydration clause sucked it out of him. I don't think that even with more weight or even without the
No.
rehydration clause, I still see Gervonta Davis winning this fight off what I watched. I'm not denying that, but I'm saying his punch resistance, whilst, yeah, it's not perfect, and you can maybe compare it to Amir Khan, I think that the sucking of the weight and the rehydration clause did have a little factor in it.
Laurie just said in the chat that Khan's got way more heart than Garcia. But I mean, we seen Khan quit against Crawford. Do you know what I mean? We've seen him get put down by hooks from nobodies. Do you know what I mean? So, you know, a mean tweet.
Nobodies. Wow.
Yeah, we have. Do you know what I mean? A mean tweet could knock out Amir Khan. That's just what it is.
I mean,
100%.
James, stop, mate. Nah. You're being disrespectful to Amir Khan, mate. He is slicker than an Italian's grease back hair, all right? Do not get me started on Amir Khan, all right? Yeah, things haven't gone too well for him when he has been hit on the chin. Like you said, things have gone bad, especially in his last fight. And now everything that's coming out of his mouth in terms of the drug scandals, it's not a good place for Amir Khan, but show some respect for him, all right? To be an Olympian at his age, to do the things he did in the sport, show some respect, okay? This guy is classy. This guy's a classy guy. And he did show heart.
The question is now, what next? Do you know what I mean? I want to see Tank go and fight Devin Haney. At this point in time, I'm not interested in seeing Tank fight anybody else. Let me know in the chat who you guys want to see Tank Davis fight next. And Ryan Garcia, to be honest with you, at this moment in time, I don't know. I don't know where he goes from here. Somebody in the chat, Jaden, saying that Haney beats everyone at that weight and he's Mayweather 2.0. And I think maybe Shakur Stevenson has something to say about that. But yeah, you know,
I don't know. I see. Shakur Stevenson is not as a complete of a fighter as Devin Haney. Personally, I do have to say that. But you know, we'll have to see as he gets tested. These guys are still very young, and people develop at different ages. So Shakur Stevenson could turn into the real deal, but I still think I'd put Devin Haney above him right now. But you are making the assumption Devin Haney gets through his next fight. But given that assumption, like you said, I presume that is the fight we all want to see next. And if it is, who do you guys have winning that fight? I personally just hope it's not another situation where we have to have another warm-up fight in between and negotiations struggle to happen, and then we see them get in the ring with someone that they really shouldn't be because it's kind of easy for them to beat, and then we get a big delay on it.
With these two guys, I'd be surprised to see that happen. With Tank and Haney, I'd be surprised to see that happen.
But it's not just them; it's everyone around them as well.
Of course, yeah. No, you're right. Yeah.
But no, man, of course, we'd love to see that. And hopefully this could be the era where we start to see some more big fights happening. Maybe we see this Saudi tournament. Maybe we see that fight. Maybe, you know, there's so many big fights that we could get. And maybe this could be the era where we actually start to see them. Maybe Fury will actually get the gas and get in there with Usyk, mate. Golden Boy just hyped him up too much. They did do a great promotional campaign with him. You know, you have to show respect for them. They did their job. You know, they did their job. But unfortunately, you know, we were all buying into the potential of Ryan Garcia, but his potential was not good enough.
It's not we all. Do you know what I'm saying? It's not we all, but it's all. Do you know what I'm saying? Because I told you, and Tank told you, and Laurie told you that he's going to sleep. Laurie even said in the chat, apparently, you know, he said that he didn't want to. He admitted in his post-fight interview that he didn't want to get up. So, do you know what I mean?
That's huge, mate. That's huge to admit that. Take some cojones, mate. What can I say? What a classy.
Come on. You're working for Golden Boy. That's what
I ain't working for Golden Boy, mate. The guy showed more balls than golden balls. Thank you very much. That fight. Nah, man. I think that is a mad thing that is a mad statement to come out with. I can't verify that. That is allegedly at the moment. Not that there's a reason to distrust Laurie, but I haven't heard those words come out of his mouth at all. Come out of his mouth, yeah. But if that did come out of his mouth, then it's scary sights for him. And where does Ryan Garcia really go after this, Nick? Where does he go for you or people in the chat as well?
I really don't know. You know, he, like you said, he's a big name partly because of said guy the cap is pure cap. That's what's in there.
I like what you're doing there, mate. I like the wordplay, mate.
But yeah,
capping for days.
For Garcia, you know, he'll do some reality TV show or something. You know, we'll do some YouTube content. But
come on, be real here, man. You're about as real
I'm not even being.
Kardashians are
I'm not even.
right now.
I'm not even
Come
being.
on, let's see some
I'm not even
realness.
being disrespectful. I'm being serious. Like
Being
he's
serious?
he's so popular. You know what I mean? Like he'll have to take a step down, but he will continue to get big fights. I think because of his name, because of his brand, I think he'll continue to get big fights. You know what I mean? And that's not necessarily world title fights, but I think he'll go. I think he'll still get big fights, 100%.
Oh man.
Hundred
Garcia will go
percent.
to WWE or AEW. Yeah, you'll see him in there with Rey Mysterio. Battle of the Luchadors coming soon. Fighting for Tank's custody over Tank. It's prize fighting for sure. It is, mate. It is, and I think there is a slight bit of hating in there. And I'm not gonna knock a man for making a brand and name for himself outside of the ring, but where he goes in terms of his career at this point, there's question marks to it. And like you said, if he did come out and say that he didn't want to continue the fight, then I think there will be maybe a lot of fighters licking their chops at the potential of it. But then again, there is no shame in going against a world class fighter like Gervonta Davis and losing the fight. There's no shame in it, mate. There is no shame. He got a lesson tonight, bro. He did. He went to school. He took his milk. He took his vitamins. He sat down in that classroom. He thought he was going to walk into the test with very little revision and use his natural, sheer intelligence. But unfortunately, the teacher, this time Gervonta Davis, had given him a fake mock test. He thought he had all the answers down as he went in. Then he sits down at the desk and he completely flips the script on him. He says, turn that page over, and it's a completely different subject that unfortunately he didn't know too much about. It looked like he revised for a Spanish test and he got a German test. And he got a real German beatdown in there. It's levels at the top. It is, mate. More levels than your elevator at the Shard. He was super humble. Got to give it to Garcia. He is, man. I think he's a lovely guy, mate.
Listen, I'm not disrespecting him at all, but he had to be. He couldn't come out and have no big talk after a performance like that. James saying he sat down in the classroom. He sat down in the ring. Do you know what I'm saying? That's just what it is. So I don't. You know what I mean? Like,
the ring was the classroom.
What could he have said? What could he have said after that? You know what I mean? That's just what it is.
No, I know, but it's still, it takes a big man to come out humble.
I give him credit for stepping in the ring. 100%. But just in terms of boxing, he got dusted. You know what I'm saying? Before the fight, everybody gave him his strengths are jabs. His strength is maybe measuring distance. His strength is range and all of that. Do you know what I'm saying? He got completely outboxed on. He got outworked.
Well, what are your thoughts on this one? Because obviously I didn't hear the quote directly, which is why I was saying allegedly. I don't know the exact quote. Apparently he said he couldn't get up, not that he didn't want to. Does that make any difference for you in your earlier assumption?
I don't believe that. When someone says they can't get up, if you had a check of $1 million on it and it right there in front of him, and he said, stand up for this $1 million, he would have been able to physically stand up. Yes, it would have hurt. He might not have been able to continue the fight, but he could have stood up. Do you know what I mean? That's not true. We're not looking at a man who literally was not physically able to stand up on his own 2 feet. He was able to, but he knows that if he stands up, he's walking straight into a devastating KO, and he wants to avoid that. And I understand that. I don't want to get knocked out either, but that is the truth.
The truth. Oh man, a lot of shade coming Garcia's way, man. The guy's getting flamed more than a forest fire. Garcia can fight Deji. Oh my god. Got love for you here. The gentleman on the right is correct. He took one in the second round to the face and got dropped. He took a half-hearted, but no. That's where I have to disagree with you. I love you, Arsenal Maniac. You've been here the whole stream. You've been showing the love. Shout out to you and shout out to all you guys in here, man, that have either stayed up for this fight or have come from across the globe. Thank you guys so much. It's been an absolute pleasure with you. But I'm going to have to disagree with you on this one. It was not a half-hearted body shot, mate. Like you say, one of those liver shots. They are nasty when they connect right. They are lethal like Bizzle. And I don't think you can say it was a half-hearted body shot. That a sweet liver shot like that can knock anyone out. And like you said, it doesn't always hit you instantly. Sometimes it takes a couple of seconds to really soak in.
Correct.
So it's not like he took like a little grazing to the body and he just suddenly decided to sit on his knee. It was a mean shot. That was fraudulent from Garcia, Diallo season. So you're saying it was like Arsenal against Southampton, maybe potentially.
The boxing should keep on topic.
Solar plexus hits do hurt, but he could have gotten up and put on skates.
100%.
Solar plexus shots do hurt. That wasn't a solar plexus shot, though. That wasn't a solar plexus shot. But yeah, no, solar plexus shots would wind you like more instantly. It would be like a quick winding. But that was not a solar plexus shot. What a load of rubbish! It was a great body shot. It was a beautiful,
Stephen, I
beautiful
agree with
shot.
you. It was a very good body shot. But what I'm saying is, you don't just in boxing, because Stephen also put a comment saying that Nick's a clown because he could have got up, but he couldn't get up to fight. What I'm saying is, in boxing, you are not going to be able to go through the fight and not be in pain. Even if you're in pain, whether you run, whether you hold, whether you fight, you have to fight your way through that. And if the first time you come across, obviously, yeah, if you get knocked out, you get knocked out. Most fighters would rather be knocked out than give up. And it's your job to get up and try to find your way through that fight. Do you know what I mean? Whether you hold, whether you get on your bike and move around, whether you jab your way through it, whatever the case may be. And if you are able to get up and you choose not to because you know you're going to lose, then that's not great.
Did he choose not to, though? Did he choose not to? As King says, King Ryan, 95, if you will, Ryan will be pissing blood for a week. Like it was a tough shot, but yeah, I mean, Laurie still coming in here with the smoke. Look at it again. He got up as soon as the refs count to 10. Look, I don't know. I mean, it's a debate that will rage on for the ages. It's similar in a way to, I mean, not completely identical to obviously the Joe Joyce Dubois fight. Did he quit? Was it because, his eye was that badly damaged he couldn't see? Did Garcia quit? Was there no way of him getting back? I don't know. I mean, I think you do raise a good point about the fact maybe he did see the fight was only going one way, and if he was up on the scorecards, maybe he would have stuck around a little bit longer. But you don't know the extent of the damage that was caused. At DR Sports, Nate Diaz or Jake Paul? Jake Paul easily for me this fight. Jake Paul, Nate Diaz for me. I mean, first of all, he's the much smaller guy. He is actually meant to be a very good Western boxer. That he hasn't showed those skills much off because, obviously in MMA you have to show a lot of other diverse skill sets in terms of the takedowns and everything, and his jiu-jitsu. But he is apparently, when it is kept to pure boxing, very technical, very slick. But he's too old. The Ferguson fight was not impressive for me. He looks like he's lost a whole yard of pace, and I see him getting cleaned out. Now we know why Canelo left Garcia. Actually, interesting on this one. Canelo apparently thought Garcia was disrespecting him almost because he was investing a lot of time into Garcia, and he was kind of saying that Garcia wasn't really repaying that respect. Because, if you invest time into helping someone and they don't work their fullest to kind of help themselves, then it's disrespectful to you and your time in a way. And he came out with that. I'm not close enough to them to say whether he was or he wasn't, but there's slightly more context to that point in there. Tank steamrolled him, and he had too much artillery in his cannon for Ryan Garcia to deal with. Liver, I'm corrected. Yeah, liver shot. Beautiful liver shot. This guy watches too many Rocky films. Are you talking about me or Nick? Who's watching? Is it Colin Kaepernick over here, or is it Nick? That could have been a lot. That could have been a lot better. That was about as slick as Garcia's head movement at the end there. Wow, he could have recovered surely, potentially. But if he was also that, if it had sucked that much out of him from the liver shot, he could have just, there was still a decent whack of time left in that round there. He could have just got pinned in and knocked out in devastating fashion. So it depends. If it was like the last 5 seconds of the round, potentially, but it could have been bad for him. It's mad annoying watching people act like that shot Tank gave Ryan was some random hit. You don't make it out of a liver shot. ISTG. Internet person. Kind of ironically what you call Ryan Garcia, the internet boxer. Are you discrediting the liver shot, Nick? I think he's coming at you with this one.
Yeah, I'm not. Listen, I picked the winner of the fight. I knew that Tank Davis would win. I said he'd win in round 8. He won in round 7. I'm not discrediting him at all. But I'm just saying there's plenty of fighters, and obviously, listen, we don't want to see people get seriously damaged, but there are plenty of fighters who get hit with a mean shot. They look out on their feet, body shot, whatever the case may be. They get up, they find a way through. If genuinely, and none of us really know, but if one of them, if he is genuinely sitting there thinking that shot has rattled me, I'm in hospital, I'm spitting blood the next day, my God, I can't get up, then fair enough. We just don't know that for sure. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
No.
TikTok 0, boxing 1. I love that.
Oh my God, man! No rematch, please. There won't be there won't be a rematch. Don't worry. Liver shots can kill you.
They can.
Yeah, man.
They
With a
can.
deadly, yeah, Tank. Who won? I see you saying K Samuel. Ryan Garcia got dropped with a brutal liver shot and couldn't make it up past the count of 10. It was not a draw. Robert Nesta was not a draw at all. I want AJ versus Wilder. I would love to see that fight.
Sure.
Apparently, Jaden Lizowski here. Wilder and Ngannou is looking like a 2-fight deal is happening. Now, that's a fight that excites me a hell of a lot. Wilder, not the slickest or most technical of boxers, although I do think compared to Francis Ngannou, there's going to be a huge gulf in class in terms of his quality, in terms of his boxing IQ, which is going to be, probably one of the first times you're actually going to see that from Deontay Wilder. But do not underestimate Francis Ngannou's power. The guy hits harder than a Ford Escort going at like 38 miles an hour or something. The guy is dangerous. And I think they're talking about potentially putting it in with the 8-ounce or 4-ounce gloves as well. So it's going to be interesting to see how that unfolds. The whole Ngannou situation with him leaving the UFC has been a bit of a mess, but I would really love to see that fight as well. Or even Ngannou versus Joshua. Either one of them are big blockbuster fights. But probably Wilder AJ is the big one.
Yeah, I'd rather see that 4-fight tournament.
The 4-fight. Oh, yeah.
But I know that Wilder's going for the money. I appreciate that. He's got to make as much money as he can. Boxing's a short career. But, if you want to, I hope that he still has some ambitions to mix it up in the world of boxing before going over to sort of cross-promotional. Even if it is a legitimate boxing match, it's still kind of cross-promotional,
Yeah, AJ doesn't want Francis. I think that Salt Pappy guy would beat Garcia on this evidence. Hey, I love Salt Pappy. He's a slick boxer, and he's got a big fight with Anthony Pretty Boy Taylor coming up. But no, he would not beat Garcia. He wouldn't, mate. That's an absolute violation, mate. Absolute violation. Shout out to my Fire Stick. If you know, you know. Garcia is lucky the punch didn't fully connect. Might have dropped Sake to the floor. I love Ngannou, my African king, but Wilder will kill him in the ring. I think Ngannou actually arguably has more power than Wilder. I don't know what someone said. Wilder would kill him.
Power than Wilder.
Ngannou might have more punch power than Wilder. Yeah.
Yeah. I can't see that at all. Definitely not.
Ngannou has some of the most ferocious power you will ever see. Now,
not in a boxing ring. I'm not.
It depends, man. It depends.
Not in a boxing ring.
I know he's using the 4-ounce gloves. No, but I mean MMA. A punch is still a punch. A punch is still a punch.
Different technique. No.
Different technique. No, it's the same technique, mate. It's the same technique. I don't know what you're talking about. Obviously,
we'll see.
Obviously, no. I think, like I said, Ngannou will outclass. Ngannou outclass him. Wilder would outclass him, and you would see the gulf technically. But in terms of hitting someone on the chin, hitting them on the temple, it's all the same. A punch is the same in every language, my man. No matter what way you want to slice it, no matter what techniques you want to do, you get hit in the temple, mate. And Ngannou actually started off boxing as well. That was his first love, to tell the story of him. And a man that had the life and the upbringing that he did, he was in like the sand dunes when he was like 6-7 years old. This guy is an animal. But yeah, I think Wilder obviously is the heavy favorite. Ngannou has uppercuts from hell. The guy on the left is talking nonsense. Absolutely right, mate. Now, just kidding. I'm a tactical genius, mate. Joe Weller versus Garcia next. 50-50. Put some respect on Ryan Garcia's name, man. Put some respect, man.
It wasn't a great night, for sure.
Wilder ain't outclassing nobody, mate. Boxing to MMA is as wrestling is to BJJ, and Ngannou can't move like that, man. He'll get clapped badly. I don't know if they'll do like a two fight where one's like the 4 ounces, one's the 10 ounces. I have to see. I give Ngannou 3 rounds to get it done, or he gasses. Yeah, it's going to be one of those ones, mate. It's going to be one of those situations. I don't think in a boxing ring, it doesn't. No, not 100%. It doesn't. Not, but Ngannou is like nothing you've ever seen before in a UFC cage. So that's interesting. But I would love to see. I would love to see before we do wrap up. Does anyone think that boxing tournament's going to happen? That boxing tournament. I mean, people saying AJ saying apparently it's 95% done.
It's Tyson. I'm telling you now, it's Tyson Fury that doesn't want it. 100%.
I don't know, mate. I don't know.
Tyson
I think
Fury that doesn't want it. Yeah, like every promotional company that goes in with Tyson Fury complains that he doesn't want these fights. You know, it's a miracle. It's a miracle that that we saw those fights with Wilder, and he thought Wilder was an easy target at the time. So
yeah. No, I just don't know if I see AJ or Wilder being happy to be on an undercard. Like I said, the only way I see it happening is if you do a Vince McMahon and you put one event on the Saturday, one event on the Sunday, and you slice it like that.
I think they'll take an undercard. AJ's just fought Jermaine Franklin. The performance was uninspiring. He'll take an undercard fight. He wouldn't say it's 95% done if he didn't think that was the case. And he would be on the undercard for that 100%. The guys above him, you know, one of the guys in the main event has beat him twice, so he can't really have an argument. And it would be not career high money for AJ, but it'd probably be career high money for the other three. So,
yeah. No, I think the ego involved would be way too much for them to take an undercard, mate. Personally, I know it's interesting.
He said it's done. Why would he say it's done?
I don't know, mate. I haven't seen the quote myself of him saying it's 95% complete, and we don't know the ins and outs of it, man. We don't know the ins and outs of it. I'd love to see it. I would love to see it, and having them all on the same night would be a very interesting night. And you know for a fact, we would be here for that one. We would be getting the popcorn out, the beers out, everything. That would be a very exciting one. But I don't know. The tournament is not something these heavyweights want. But we'll do under duress, and a lot of brown envelopes, mate. I don't know what duress you're getting when you've got hundreds of millions of pounds being pumped into your bank account.
I know what he's saying. In what he's saying is kind of true, but that's the same for any of these big fighters fighting each other. You know, they're all so reluctant to do it. And for me, Usyk is the man in the division who seems game to fight anybody. He travels to any country and will fight anywhere. So I 100% believe that he's signed on. Wilder and AJ 50-50 and Tyson Fury 0%. That's the way that I see it.
AJ would fight anyone. You can't say AJ wouldn't. AJ didn't have to take the Usyk fight.
I'm talking about this particular tournament. I'm talking about being on the undercard. I'm talking about the specific situation. You know what I mean? This would be AJ Wilder on the undercard of an undisputed heavyweight title fight. They could charge 150, 200 pounds for pay-per-view and it would still sell out. So
yeah, that's true, mate. They could charge flipping everything for that, everything. I mean, it would be a lot more exciting if it was the main event of Anthony Joshua versus Tyson Fury, though. I still think Anthony Joshua, Tyson Fury does better numbers than those two fights on the same card, personally.
No way.
I think it does. The fight is so huge. It is so huge that I think it does. I mean, for 100% fact, it does more numbers than Usyk versus Fury. It does more numbers than Wilder versus Fury. It does more numbers than Wilder versus Usyk. And it does more numbers than AJ versus Wilder, which is second just below it. I think AJ Fury is still a massive fight, and I think it's very close for it potentially doing more than that tournament. Tyson Fury will spin us some nonsense waffle. I reckon he might go the 12 rounds. All the Super 6 tournaments brought no money compared to the big fight in Vegas. Stop it. Can't lie. Nick Knowledge is elite and he is funny. Yeah, let's show some love to Nick, mate. Let's show some love to Nick, mate. He's a lovely guy. He's up here. He's been up all day. Hardworking man. Funny guy. Off camera as well. Off camera. You know, one of the sweetest guys you'll ever meet. Lovely person. Down to earth and funny.
Secret. You're not supposed to tell people that.
Nah, man. Love. Shout out to my boy Nick, man. Got a lot of love for this man right here. Lovely guy. And he knows his stuff, mate. He knows his stuff. He does know his stuff. You know what, mate? If you want to call me an idiot or whatever, that's fair enough. But this man right here, you know, he's a very, very, very sharp-witted man. Very sharp-witted man. think about it. Serrano versus Garcia would be interesting.
I just feel like any decent power puncher who connects. I'm not saying the
Oh,
punches.
you're not getting this. Amanda Serrano versus Garcia.
I know. I got it. I did get it.
I don't think she's got enough power to put fucking Garcia.
I'm just saying, any decent power puncher in his division, regardless whatever weight division you want to put him in, any decent power puncher that hits him, he's going down, and that's it's going to be a tough one. Who wins, Tank versus Haney? I need some time to mull that on over. I need to see what Haney does against Lomachenko, but that's the fight I want to see. I definitely think Devin Haney's skills are a lot more. He's a lot more of a diverse, versatile fighter. But Tank is probably more powerful. So,
No. And what we can all be in 100% agreement is we need that fight next.
100%.
We need it next, mate. We need the big fights next. But speaking of the big fight, this has been the big fight at DR Sports. Shout out to every single person that's come here. Shout out to all of you guys. It's been an absolute pleasure. It's 5:30 a.m. for me in London right now. Same for Nick. People have come from all around the world here. Anyone that's popped into the chat, I mean, just quickly, the people on the screen here, I can't shout out everyone. Arsenal Maniac, Diallo Season, Echo One, Stephen Parker, Mikey B, SE, Hishamunu, Yadav, Carlos Luis, Elvis K, like Presley, Jaden Lizowski, and I'm so sorry. There's so many more. You guys have been phenomenal today. Shout out to the 189 of you who have liked it. We've got 189 whole goddamn likes. I don't know who you are. I don't know where you're liking from. I don't know you. 189 source demons are absolute living legends. Unfortunately for Ryan Garcia, he couldn't hook the boxes in order to win this fight. And Gervonta Davis put those rounds and put Ryan Garcia into the back of his tank. And he drove away with the win, and a well-deserved win in the end. There will be debates that will rage on till the morning, till the evening, till 2024 about whether Ryan Garcia gave up, whether he could have kept the fight going. But what we do know is that Gervonta Tank Davis is the real deal. Thank you guys so much for watching. Nick, before we go, is there anywhere where these guys can find you?
Yeah, follow my Instagram and YouTube at Nick J Francis. Probably be in the description of the video. But yeah, man, follow me for more. And I'll be back on DR Sports covering football, covering boxing. And we have our show, Boxing Talk, coming out every Thursday as well. So tune in for that.
Absolutely, mate. Absolutely. I hope to see all of your lovely faces over on Thursday for the Boxing Talk. It's going to be me, Nick, Shane, and Laurie, and I'm sure they've all got so much to say about this fight. They're already blowing up the WhatsApp right now. It's going to be a very, very, very exciting show. These guys are going to be smoking me. I'm going to try and stick up for Ryan Garcia a little bit because, as you said, he has been getting flamed more than a forest fire. But hey, that's the nature of the beast, isn't it? Make sure you tune in for that one. I can't wait. It's going to be phenomenal. We've got so many big fights on the horizon. Big things happening over at DR Sports. Make sure you are tuned in. Big weekend of action coming. Big week of action coming. So many Premier League games coming thick and fast, as well as the boxing. So make sure you stay locked in for that one. Like I said, thank you guys so much for watching. It has been an absolute pleasure. And I will see you guys very, very soon. It's been your boy James Toon, aka JT. Au revoir, my brothers.
Peace.